Welcome back, guys. I trust you've been staying safe. Now, just when it seemed like the case of the two missing girls in Nigeria couldn't get any worse, it just got worse. Because reports coming in indicates that another lady, who is a gym instructor, has been missing since the 28th of March 2024. Her name is Goodnews Fakae. I take it again. Her name is Goodnews Fakae, and she is a gym instructor. On Instagram, she's known as @Instructor Goody, and she's based in Port Harcourt, River State, and she's been missing since the 28th of March 2024. And guess what? Reports coming in indicates that she happens to be the gym instructor of the infamous Andrews Amechi of Black Sheep Group, who is the key suspect in the ongoing case of the two missing ladies in Nigeria, namely Abigail Afibatando and Celine Indudem. Mind you, this case has taken so many twists and turns that it is becoming something of the past with regards to the girls still being missing, and has shifted focus to what is ongoing currently between Harrison Gwamnishu, who is trying to help the family of the victims find them, and Mr. Ben Samuel, the self-proclaimed friend of the suspect, Andrews Amechi, who is also now unfortunately deceased, whilst in the custody of the Nigerian police and being transported to the police in Abuja. This case has come to so many points that you keep asking yourself, what are these systemic problems in Nigeria with regards to the dispensation of justice, security, and the safety of the people? Now, this new development with regards to this missing girl by name Goodnews Fakae brings in another twist with regards to the same question, bordering on how Nigeria as a country should be paying attention to the dispensation of security, justice, and fairness in doing so, based on the conduct of some of its police officers, because the sister of this girl is indicating that she's been missing since 28th of March 2024, and she reported the case to the Woji police station in Port Harcourt, but then, due to their excessive financial demands of her, she could not continue searching for her sister. And as such, she indicated that even at a point, they tracked her phone number and it was located somewhere in Aba. You see where this case is going? Somewhere in Aba. And guess who was living in Aba? Yeah, you guessed right. Andrew Amechi. So you see, the dots are aligning. Now, it has also been established that this missing girl by name Goodnews Fakae, and known on Instagram as Instructor Goody, happens to be Andrews Ucheko's gym instructor, like I said, and that she had even once posted Andrews on her Instagram page and also tagged him. That is evidence to an extent that she knew him, but maybe not enough evidence to corroborate that maybe he also knew her. Now, her friend checked Instructor Goody's page and discovered the Andrew posts that she posted had been pulled down. So, this is what it is now. That's the lady you are seeing in the shot, and it is very unfortunate. If what her sister is saying about the Nigerian police is true, it begins to just make this case so much worse, because it means that if Andrew Amechi is responsible for this girl being missing, then it's likely we may have possibly a serial killer on our hands, because there's already the case of the missing two ladies, Abigail Afibatando and Celine Indudem, and I said in my initial video on this case that they might not be the first victims of whoever is responsible. I wouldn't conclude it's Andrew, because there hasn't been any conclusive thing to tie him to them with regards to they even being confirmed as deceased. So the case is so open, you can't draw any conclusions. But if it turns out they've been unalived or eliminated, and this lady, Goodnews Fakae, who is Andrew's instructor, has also been deceased or unalived by another person, then it means that whoever is responsible for this would have already taken 3 lives. And those 3 lives might not necessarily be even the first victims of this person, which would then imply that we are dealing with someone who has been doing this serially for some time. And irrespective of the angle that you look at this from, it looks like the police or some of the police officers in Nigeria are failing to do their job. It seems that financial demands seem to be at the forefront of the dispensation of their job. And honestly, if that is true, it is very disappointing, because the people are already paying you. The citizens are already paying you as a police officer in terms of their taxes. Their taxes are used to run your service as a police officer with regards to your budgets and the functioning of your precinct as a whole. So why do these guys or these citizens have to pay you just so you do your job? Somebody is missing, and it's your job as a police officer to get on the ground, do your policing work, get to the bottom of it, and then retrieve this person, and you are to serve the community. The police is supposed to be the friend of the citizens. Why are we getting to the point where some police officers are demanding money before they do their job? And these things are very systemic. Honestly, in Africa, I've seen it manifest in different ways. Maybe not necessarily just in Nigeria. Go to certain public spaces where people have been employed and are being paid to do the job they are sitting there to do, which they have actually applied for and gotten. And then they posture that they need you to pay them again before they do the job that they signed on to do and are being paid for. It's just stupidity. Yeah, that is an understatement actually, because when it comes to things like this, every second counts. When it comes to cases of missing people, every second counts. And every second delayed is every second adding on to the possibility that the person might be lost forever or might be found not alive based on these delays that are playing out. And if she has been missing since 28th of March, that is even worse than that of Abigail Afibatando. Now, I was having a discussion with some friends of mine on this, and they were saying that, oh, this lady seems different from Abigail Afibatando and Celine Indodem in the sense that she seems to be a fitness freak. She's a gym instructor, so obviously she's fitter or likely to be fitter than Abigail Afiba and Celine. So maybe assuming it's Andrew who is responsible for her getting missing, she may be able to have fought back, and I was like, please, don't conclude that way, because it's not that straightforward. When it comes to people who are into this type of thing, they wouldn't handle it such that you see it coming. They are subtle. You wouldn't see it coming. She could have been maybe dragged or something. So let's not just leave it to chance that, oh, maybe she survived and she's somewhere she's hiding. Please, the police just need to do their job. Goodnews Fakae needs to be given as much attention as all these aspects of the case is being given. Now, unfortunately, the key suspect again, Andrew Amechi, is deceased. And that in itself is another case for the police with regards to the circumstances leading up to him getting deceased. So the whole case seemed to be in shambles. Abigail Afibatando, Celine Indodem are still missing. And the last time I checked, there hasn't been any update by the police indicating any major break, drawing them closer to finding these 2 girls. Not to talk of even now coming to give an update on what they have been doing with regards to the reported disappearance of Goodnews Fakae. So what is going on? What is going on in Nigeria? And I'm sure in the days coming ahead, we may get other people coming forward talking about other girls being missing or female relatives of theirs being missing. And they go into a police station and the police also demanding money. Maybe some might not be true, but if even one is true, then it's very shameful. And for me, I wonder how such police officers would sleep at night. When you go home to see your wife, you go home to see your daughter or your child, and you are looking in their eyes and you know that as part of your professional work, which you've sworn an oath to do, to serve and protect people, you have turned your back on another person's missing relative, and you closed from that job and you came back and you looked into the eyes of your relatives and you're okay and you are sleeping. Sometimes I wonder how those people sleep at night, but I've also found out that some people have defeated their conscience, so they can do all these things, come back and sleep, and they don't care. And that is very unfortunate. There was a time where the police officer was ready to go heaven and earth to get his job done, even at the risk of peril to his or her life. Where are these type of policemen in these days, where most policemen in our time, especially here in Africa, rather see the uniform as a means to bully the citizens they are supposed to protect and extort money from them? You remember that when the case of Afiba and selling first broke, Afiba's brother was granted an interview by a YouTuber, a journalist called SVTV. You can look it up, just that the interview is in the local dialect here in Ghana. But then he said that the police were demanding money from them. And Afiba's husband has also come to say the same thing. Ben Samuel, Andrew Ochekwa Amechi's friend, has come to say the same thing. Harrison Gwamnishu has come to expose the same thing. And now there is a supposed sister of a lady who is allegedly missing also saying the same thing. Now, even if some of them are lying, I'm sure at least one of them is telling the truth. What is going on in Nigeria? Sometimes these things have been done so long and they've become normalized. It becomes a cancer that cannot be uprooted. And it's very shameful, because when it continues like this, it emboldens criminals to start getting worse and worse. And sometimes you find that these criminals in their endeavors are therefore making more money. And then with that money, they are now coming to buy off the police, and the police are now in the pockets of the criminals. There's already an allegation similar to that with regards to Andrew Amechi and some police officers who are allegedly being investigated. But I think that this is very shameful. This is so shameful, because human life is human life. No amount of money can actually replace the value of a human life. And sometimes, even if you hear the amounts involved, like the alleged 1.5 million naira that was extorted by some police allegedly from Andrew Amechi before his suspicious passing within their custody, if you convert 1.5 million naira to US dollars, it's less than $1,000. How is this enough for somebody's principles and morals to be compromised? I don't get it. I don't get it. I understand sometimes poverty and all, but it's not an excuse. There are people who are not rich, who are actually languishing in poverty, but hold on to their principles. Because personally, I believe that you don't do the right thing because it's easy. You do it because it's the right thing to do, period. And it's very shameful. When I watched the footage of Andrew when they were showing his remains, just to confirm to the public he had passed, one of the police addressed him with a word, BASTARD. And I felt that was too extreme and personal, because yes, he's the key suspect. I understand and respect the fact that emotions towards him will be negative, but you don't judge him in his death when the court hadn't actually found him guilty. And now it's turning out there are so many funny things that happened between the police and Andrew leading up to his passing whilst in their custody. And you begin to wonder what is going on. What is going on? I think that this case shouldn't be allowed to go cold. Afiba and Selin have still not been found, and now Goodnews Fakae has been added to the list. And I'm sure there will be more. I'm sure there will be more. And it's very surprising that all this has been happening. And I don't think this will be the last of this type of case. I tell you, these criminals, these psychopaths, these perverts, they are amongst us, living with us, They could be your neighbor. They could be your colleague at the office. And they are just waiting for an opportunity. And they become emboldened to just settle in comfortably and start tormenting the society, because some policemen have allowed themselves to be corrupted by their greed, selfishness, and insensitivity for the people they've sworn to serve and protect. What do you think about this case? Let's have a conversation in the comment section. Do you think that the police are actually sort of indirectly emboldening some of these things from happening because of how some of them have become so greedy? Tell me about it. And if there's anything you know about this that I didn't mention, enlighten me in the comment section. But hey, let's give this traction to this case so that Goodnews Fakae would also get the same attention that Abigail Afibatando and Celine Ndudim are having with their case. And maybe, just maybe, we would hear some good news about Goodnews Fakae. Share the video. Share the video. You don't know what it can do to the case. Just share the video. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe out there. And remember, a little bit of paranoia keeps you safe and alive. Catch you later.